Welcome to the podcast. I'm Melissa Westbrook, writer, painter, teacher, and mom of four.
And I'm Bryn Barano, author, international education professional, and mom of one.
And I'm Katie Moody, former teacher of photography, graphic design, video, and current full-time parent of 3 kids.
We're not quite losing it. 3 creative friends coming together to share some laughs, inspiration, and advice to help you feed your creative spark when the responsibilities of life and parenting are threatening to snuff it out.
Welcome back to Not Quite Losing It, summer episode, 6?
I don't know.
It's the
Bookclub
third
interlude?
Yeah, it's for sure the third version of our little book reviews of our, favorite series right now. I mean, favorite series all time for me. Current page turners for Bryn and Melissa. And we are going to talk about almost said Assassin's Fate. I'm reading Assassin's Fate right now, which is the 16th final book in the thing. There was a lot I forgot, y'all, so we'll just leave it there for now.
Okay.
But we're going to talk about Assassin's Quest, right?
Yes.
That's the third book. A lot of the names run together.
They do.
Yeah, so Assassin's Quest. But before we get to that, for our non-Realm of the Elderlings listeners, we'll do kind of our normal update. So, Bryn, you want to kick it off?
Yeah, so since we last recorded, because it's been about a couple weeks since we last recorded, I've had a discussion with my publisher about the first 6 weeks of book sales. And I want to be honest on this podcast. We're not crushing dreams. We're trying to inspire creativity. But I think we have talked about creative failures and maybe not failures, but disappointments. And so those first 6 weeks numbers were 479 copies sold across all platforms, paperback, ebook, audiobook. And for my publisher, that was not what he expected. It was not what I had expected. I had not expected 5,000 sales. You don't expect that with an indie publisher, but I had hoped to break 500 the first month. And we didn't even do that. And so that was disappointing and, frustrating because spent all this time. Y'all know, behind the scenes, I was doing bare minimum for this podcast because I was spending all my time making reels and making Canva graphics, which I don't like to do. I'm not a marketing person. And I was doing all of this stuff to promote the launch, emailing all the bookstores, driving to all the bookstores, taking my family out of town.
Yeah.
I am so far in the hole. I will never make money on this book. But that part's okay because I like traveling to the bookstore, but I had hoped at least to have, a slightly higher number of sales. Yeah. So that was disappointing. So now and this happened with my debut too, and I thought I was immune to it at this point because I'd been through it once. It's if authors are expected to do all of this promo for their own book and we're not marketing people and it doesn't do anything, I'm expected to do this thing that we have the data on and we know doesn't actually increase sales, but I'm still expected to do it because it's part of being a published author. I don't know if I want to be a published author. I don't know if I want to write a whole new book to only sell it to 479 people. I spent years on that book. And I am very proud of it and I think it's very good. And you're like, oh, you write because you love it. Writers love to write. And it's I do love to write, but I also, it's a lot of work.
I want people to read it.
I want people to read it.
Well, and it's not just the writing. It's like you're saying all the marketing, crap aspect of it that you don't enjoy and that doesn't actually move the needle on sales very often. And then, or ever. And then, that's tough. That is really tough. I've said it before, I'll say it again, is I have so much respect and awe for authors with how much it's just such a long payoff art form that then you could get to the end and not have this kind of sales payoff or the maybe not even making it about the money, but just having those eyeballs of those people enjoying your story. It just might not be what you wanted to be at all. That's so hard.
And then, honestly, I also feel a little guilty complaining about it because I know, like, you, Melissa, would love to see your book published. And so I'm like, I should just be happy.
No,
I
that's
should
not how
just
it
be
works.
happy because all the people querying long to see their book in a bookstore. And I do have that.
Yeah. But, you know, my mom always says, just because there's an elephant on your foot, I mean, on your friend's foot, doesn't mean the nail in yours doesn't hurt. But, like, and I like, that's a frustrating situation, too. I would be frustrated if I put all this work in and I did get published and it didn't turn out how I wanted it to. It's a different kind of bummer.
How is querying?
There's lots of different... That's what I feel about, like, the writing process is there's so many bummer benchmarks
Yeah.
to hit or not hit along the way that you're just like, dang, you know?
Yeah.
It's a lot of
a lot of
really
bummers.
tough hurdles.
Yeah. I mean, I had told myself I would query for a year. And then if I had, like, no bites after a year of querying to go traditional, then maybe I would look at self-publishing or something like that. And I'm coming up on that. It'll be a year in, like, at the end of August. So by the time this airs.
Yeah. Wow.
And I just, like, I have it, it's out still to two agents who have the full manuscript, but I haven't heard from either of them since April. And it could sit with them for months and months or years, and I could never hear anything back, and that wouldn't be absurd. But then, like, the thought of the amount of, like, promotion and self-promotion I would have to do if I did decide to publish it myself, to, like, put, and I'm, you know, just imagining I would put all this work in, and how much audience would that get me? And
479.
Right? And I just don't know if I'm there yet. My real issue, though, is, like, I'm having a hard time writing. Like, I like, have some ideas, and I'm just having I miss writing. I miss having a thing that I'm, like, jazzed about, waking up at 4 a.m. a couple days a week if I need to. I just don't have that right now. And it's hard to talk myself into it. And I'm having a little bit of an identity moment of, like, am I ever gonna be that disciplined again to put that amount of effort into completing something?
Yeah. Okay. So what I hear you guys saying, and I think for anybody listening to you guys, like, if anybody has ever tried to kind of take some form of their art and put it out there and get it out into the world, sell versions of it, then they can totally relate to the reality is that it's extremely hard. Like, it's an uphill battle, and there are really tough moments along the way. Like, it's a long process, and there's really tough moments, and you know, everybody loves the, like, overnight success story, but most of those are fiction. Like, truly, like, they're not even the ones that get heralded as overnight success. Those people were putting in years of work. I know that's certainly true, like, in the music industry and different things. So hopefully, I don't know, to anyone listening that has been on a similar path, I feel like they know exactly, they know exactly where you guys are at. It doesn't really make it better for anybody necessarily,
other
than at least you're not alone.
Not being alone makes it better.
I would like to point to, in the midst of all y'all's writing, as we've been doing the podcast, I've not attempted anything creative since the last time we spoke. Like, literally nada. For me, it's just, like, end of summer doldrums of, like, just survival mode day to day with the kids. Like, it's fine, but it's not thriving, and that's okay, because we're about to be back in routine, and that'll be great. I'm claiming it. But I have had several people talk to me in person recently about things that they listen to in the podcast that they have done in real life.
Really?
And so I would, like, hope that might be encouraging. Might be encouraging to you guys. So one of them was someone who had heard your idea, Melissa, of the like, on the go creativity first aid kit. right? That was what we called it. Yeah. And so it was, my sister had realized, she's like, oh, I have a road trip coming up where my husband's going to be driving and he's stuck in the car and I should have a thing. So she brought all hand embroidery stuff and did a hand embroidery project in the car on the way. So I thought that was a really good one. And I've had multiple people quote to me that they're just doing the dang thing. Which is really fun, like, and in totally different context too. Like some stuff creatively, or some stuff just trying to like get through it with motherhood, life, you know, all the things. It'd be like, well, it is what it is, but we are out here doing the dang thing, and I'm like, that's so fun, you know, that's really fun to hear. And then 2 other people told me that they made bingo cards, like creativity bingo cards that they've been working through, and one of them is like an extremely artistic, amazing friend that I've known for years, and I was like, girl, I bet yours is elite, because she has so many artistic skills in like multiple realms. And so I was like, that bingo card is like on another level. That's like a gold standard bingo card, I'm pretty sure. So and then one was even talking about maybe trying to like use the bingo card idea with her daughter for like maybe more, you know, maybe getting through some drudgery kind of tasks, but trying to like, you know, kind of gamify it that way. Now it's time for future episode editor Katie to jump in and add a little piece that is missing from this episode because I forgot to talk about it in the moment. And it is the fact that one of the really fun feedback moments that I had over the summer was a friend who read Bren's book and really loved it. And it had gotten so stuck in her head that she was like mixing up the name of Ford Fry, the Atlanta restaurateur. She was mixing his name up with Henry Ford and saying Henry Fry every time because the story and the book and the world that Bren created and its connections to history just were so stuck in her craw that she kept saying Henry Fry instead of Ford Fry, which really made me laugh. And she enjoyed the book and had great things to say about it. And I wanted to pass that along to you, Bren, and I forgot in the moment, so I apologize. If you are also watching this episode on YouTube or Substack or someone where there's video and you notice the curtains that are behind me, I just, you know, if you're like, wait, is that? Yes, friends, it is the curtains that were talked about. And I did not make them. I found them on Facebook Marketplace. So there's a good callback that I can discuss with the gals on a later episode. So I just was like, oh, okay, that's like really nice to hear because, you know, that's been a thing for us too. We're trying to put this out there and then, you know, kind of feel like we're having community online, but that aspect of it, we really haven't been able to grow successfully yet. But it was so nice to hear from people like over text or in person that were like, no, I listened and I like did the thing. So, yeah, several like very specific quotes or like laugh out loud moments or using some of the ideas and finding them good. So
I love that.
So yeah, all the work of like everything that you put out there, even if it doesn't turn out exactly how you thought in this moment.
Yep.
We're playing the long game on
that's it.
We're playing the long game on working the creative muscles. And I do think the crazy thing with the publishing world too is that, Melissa, it's like you feel really stuck right now, but it's like one of those people could email you back tomorrow and then be like, yeah. Or Bren, I feel like especially the audiobook of your book, like I feel like that could just hit the right book talk people and go viral and like get it, you know, it's like it takes is like the one thing, and those things, those little bits of it does like happen overnight, you know, where big shifts happen. So who knows? But I feel like the fact that we're here and doing our best and trying to put our best,
we're
doing the dang thing. We're trying to put our best thoughts out there. I just have to believe that that's not gonna like return void forever, you know?
I think it already has. Like, what were our goals when we started? Like, we wanted to have fun and encourage each other. And then what was it? If we could like help one other mom, like be creative, and we just multiple moms, like we're checking the boxes for this. So I feel this, our not quite losing it, is a success.
Yeah, absolutely.
Sure.
And so even if for me, I mean, you know, I'm just trying to minimize the poop catastrophes or any kind of, you know, I'm like, I don't know what I'm doing right now. Y'all at least have goals in mind and know what you like to do. So I mean, it's like, I just feel like there's always a milestone ahead of you or behind you that you can feel
for sure
good or bad about or whatever. But
no, that's a really good, I'm glad you brought that up, Katie. Today my little one was in the pool and didn't get the toy he wanted. We were at a friend's house at the pool party, and he lost his mind, and he just kept saying, like, nothing is going my way today, nothing is going my way today. And I was like, okay, like, we're at a pool and you had that float for like half an hour, and eventually I was like, okay, we gotta reset. Let's talk about some things that have gone your way today. And he had to like catch his breath, and then he was able to tell me. I was like, let's you're not allowed to say this, but then this. Like, let's name 5 things that went your way today. And he's like, well, we're at the pool, and then that big kid played with me for a little while, and I did get to play with that toy, and then he, like, I could just like hear him as he started talking about these things that did go his way. He just, like, his mood just went from it changed completely.
Neural pathways, baby. Like, just building up.
What would Lauren
the
call
positive
this?
ones.
I'm sure there's some like reframing. Is it like
like, just, I don't know. Another when I will quote my good friend Micah, who she always would tell her kids, like, feel your feelings, but then tell yourself the truth. And
I like that.
And I have completely stolen that, and I use it with my kids, and I'm like, all right, let's feel your feelings. You're feeling like everything is unfair. It feels bad. Okay, let's tell ourselves the truth. Is it true that nothing has gone your way today?
That's so good.
I'm going to tell myself that, because sometimes you just want to be petty and vent, and then once you get it out, you can be like, okay. But now I realize.
Yeah. It's like, Katie, I would, like, come into planning period, and I would be like, all right, I'm just going to, here's what went down. And you're like, are you okay? And I'm like, yep, I'm going to feel sorry for myself for 24 hours. And then I'm going to be fine.
I remember those multiple of those exact moments, and I was like, man, and I learned from that, Melissa. Like, I learned so much from you, like, watching you, especially because you were in mom mode then when I wasn't. I just got such a good view of, like, getting to see you be like, nope, like, I have a right to this moment of disappointment or frustration or whatever, and then I get to choose to move on and, like, be okay with it. And I was like, dang.
It's like Micah. So feel your feelings for 24 hours, and then tell yourself the truth. Like, this is not the end of the world.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Also, I mean, I always am getting by with, like, humor and often quoting children in my life, which Melissa's children have provided many quotes for my life, and other people that don't even know her kids that just have heard me say phrases that I'm like, well, that's a Westbrook boy quote. But my niece, one time when we were playing Tea Party with her as a 2.5-year-old and her, well, maybe just turned 3, and her, like, very little, like, 6-month-old sister, and we're trying to play Tea Party with water in the cups, and the baby kept spilling it because she's a baby, and of course she kept spilling it, and my niece just kept getting increasingly just more and more upset, and she finally just, like, throws her hands down and just this, like, Charlie Brown shoulder slump and is like, the tea party is ruined. Like, that's all she could keep saying, and I could not stop laughing. And so, yeah, that's my way of, like, in the moment now when I'm just, like, feeling my feels, but I know it's like I'm being dramatic or I'm being whatever, and it's not all ruined, but, like, that's my phrase to say in the moment, to just kind of, like, I'm admitting it, but I'm also admitting that it's not all ruined, it's fine. So, yeah, but yeah, the tea party is wooined, is like,
tea party is ruined.
Yeah, that's my phrase to myself
that's
of,
so
like,
good.
this feels very bad, but isn't actually a catastrophe right now, but... Yeah, shout out Briley. Thank you, Briley, for that moment.
Briley.
And we have it on video, so
good,
incredible. And you know, I rewatch it all the time. So,
it's
It's Melissa, and I'm really excited to announce that for season 2 of Not Quite Losing It, Bryn and Katie and I are going to be going through the Artist's Way together. If you haven't heard of it, it's a 12-week course that really helps you rediscover your creativity and whatever kind of creative you are. I have gone through the first half of it twice. And even though I've never finished it, it has been life-changing both times, and I'm really excited to actually finish it because I always do better with a team, and I think most people do. So we are excited to invite you to join us and be part of our team as we go through it together. We will be starting, the first episode is on September 1st, so that gives you some time to get the book, wrap your head around it. It is kind of a big time commitment to do it. You got to really carve out the time. But if you don't have a ton of time to commit to it, we will go through it and we'll tell you the highlights. If you only have time to do this much, that's what we recommend. So hopefully we're going to make it accessible for everybody. We're really excited. So we hope you will join us for season 2.
Okay, so we're going to transition.
We're going to feel our feelings, and then we're going to
felt our feelings,
Yeah.
and now an
And
accomplishment.
then Katie told us the truth.
Yes, I told you the truth. And now we're going to
choose
balm
to
our
focus
souls.
on, yeah.
Yes.
An
with-
accomplishment. The three of
Fitz.
us have read the entire trilogy.
Yeah, we have.
That is an
Yes.
accomplishment.
It is. No, and
Because those
truly,
books are enormous, Katie.
they are. No, the one I'm on right now is almost 1,000 pages. But
Oh my God.
yeah. So Kason and I are both on. I caught up to him, so we're both on the final one. And he's like, "This is a long book," and I'm like, "Yeah, aren't you thankful? Because it's the last one, so you need all."
Do you
this.
have multiple copies? How is that working?
We have. So he's listening to audiobook, and we have it on Kindle and a.
Okay.
He has like
So
the
yes.
audiobook and the
Yes.
print. Yes is the short answer. He's doing audiobook and physical book when he can, and I'm doing Kindle.
I
So.
cannot do multiple types of the same book.
I can't either.
I
No.
cannot.
No. And the audiobook narration for this last one is truly horrendous, even the British version. And so, yeah, so that was why I was like, I'm going Kindle because I'll have it in my hand on my phone, and then, or I'm going ebook, whatever, and I'll have it just on the Kindle app on my phone, and then I won't have to listen to the annoying narrator, and I won't kind of get in Kason's way because he was already doing the other two. So
All right.
Okay.
Is
So
this
this is
where
where
we say
we
goodbye? We say
Goodbye.
goodbye to
Spoilers. There's about to be a
Yeah.
lot of spoilers.
yes, so yeah, if you don't
So
care, we
many.
love you. If you don't care about Assassin's Quest, we love
yet.
you.
If you don't care about it yet,
Yet exactly. You can
then we
sign
can-
on off.
Yeah, come back later.
Okay, so Bryn, lead us
Yes.
in since you were the most freshly read of this
did.
particular book.
I finished Assassin's Quest the first week of July, so 2 weeks ago, on the family vacation. And literally all I did that family vacation was just me and my Kindle in various lounge chairs on different
Such
levels
a
of the deck.
dream.
It was
Such a
amazing.
dream.
It was amazing. So I have some thoughts.
Yeah.
That when
a
I
lot.
first started reading this, the whole series, when I first started reading, and I made this comment on this podcast about how the magic is so subtle.
Yeah, really super subtle.
This smacks you in the face and then drags you down to 85 with magic. It is not subtle anymore. And those have to be the craziest final 100 pages I've
Yes.
ever read.
And
It
that is
goes
a Robin Hobb
crazy.
signature moment to me. Is the final 100 pages of a trilogy for her is buckle up, Buttercup, because it's gonna be full speed the whole time, and just things happening. Yeah, it's the
And
best.
so what does happen? Quick summary. Can either of you
Yeah.
give a quick summary?
A quick summary.
There's
Okay,
some dragon.
so
There's some turning oneself into a dragon.
So
okay, yeah, I could probably so it's basically they're on the hunt for Verity, and so their little band of pilgrims are trying to go up into the mountain to find Verity, and they find him emaciated, and he's trying to carve a dragon out of a block of black stone, and it only gets weirder from there.
And the book starts with Fitz recovering from being a wolf, from being
yeah.
joined
Oh, gosh,
as a soul.
yeah.
That's how it starts. he is remembering how to be a human.
Mm-hmm.
So it goes from like wolf Fitz in man's body all the way to, I mean, we've said spoilers are coming, all the way to man becoming stone dragon.
Yeah.
It is quite the journey in this book. It is quite the journey.
Yes.
Yeah. Oh, I was just
so
remembering some weird
much
stuff that happens in there.
Oh, there's a lot of weird stuff.
There's so much weird.
Yeah, and people think Fitz is dead, so that gets tough.
And it's gotten out that he has the wit, that he's witted. So, and that's why Regal was going to kill him. And Regal's like fully in charge at this point. At the beginning of the book, Regal's fully in charge. Everyone assumes Verity's dead. Ketrican has fled. And Burrich has Fitz in hiding in like this cabin close to the woods.
Yeah. And he's
trying to rehab him.
Yes.
Yeah.
Basically.
Because Fitz is like attacking him and trying to bite his jugular.
This part would be so interesting as a movie.
Oh gosh, yeah. I mean, Burrich has the patience of an absolute saint.
So,
and then to get to the end of that, and think that you have failed and he has just like died basically an animal because of the way Fitz flees. And then...
So sad. So yeah, Burrich, that's my first question, is about Fitz and Burrich. Love, duty, and self-actualization. So, because at one point while Burrich is again making Fitz his like priority and giving all of himself to sort of teach Fitz how to be a man for the second time in Fitz's and Burrich's life. And then at one point Fitz comes back at him and was like, I don't want to be just a pawn for someone else like you were, essentially. Like, I don't want to just give my life to some other person and never have a life of my own like you did.
The way that Burrich was sworn to chivalry, Fitz's father. Yeah.
And then, by extension, Fitz, because he was loyal to chivalry, so he took care of Fitz. And he never sort of got a life of his own. Yeah. And, like, I thought that was the meanest thing Fitz could have said to him. Like, the absolute meanest. But at the same time, you also see, like, Fitz isn't the same kind of person as Burrich. And I think that whole dynamic is, like, so... How much of love is your duty to someone, is manifested through your duty to someone else? And how much are you obliged to do for someone, and when do you get to live your own life? Like, at what point does living your own life become selfish? But at what point do you give up? And I felt the tension between those was like...
Yeah. These are things we've talked about as moms. Like, what's the line between like sacrificial love that is healthy and martyrdom that is like not doing anybody any favors?
Yeah.
But it's a little different when there's like, you know,
different
magic involved and stuff, and like,
well, and like, you know, and royalty, like that, you know, that aspect of it, you know, obviously doesn't translate as well. But I think that part is so interesting because you're right, is like the meanest thing that Fitz could say to him, but it's also like the truest thing that he could say to him. And I think it's the thing that sticks in Burrich's head when he, I think it's the thing that pushes Burrich to Molly. To then go and be with her and start a life with her and actually have a life, you know, of his own and a family of his own. I'm like, yeah, it's like the meanest thing, but it's also, I feel like it takes family or the people that you know the best to like say the harshest but truest thing to you, and you can actually, even if it hurts that bad, absorb it and maybe point your life in a new direction.
Yeah.
Or was he still just following his duty to Fitz by going, you know, his duty to chivalry, to Fitz chivalry, whatever, by going to Molly?
Because he knew Molly was pregnant. Because Fitz, being an idiot, still hadn't figured it out at that point. That Molly was pregnant with his child.
Well, how did Night Eyes not even know? Do you know what I mean?
That's true.
Night Eyes should have figured that out.
Yeah.
But
maybe she left before he could smell or whatever.
Yeah. Or maybe did they ever like hang out?
No, and Night Eyes prefers Ketrican, so like,
yes,
in terms
that
of women.
whole thing is so that's later in the book.
That's later.
That piece.
That's later.
Wow.
So also in the cabin, and I feel like, so like, and Love and Duty comes back with Kettricken too. Like, I think those are themes through the whole book. Like duty, love, like, of your people, your obligations, sacrifice versus your family. But also another thing which was very hard to read, but I love that Robin Hobb did it, was Fitz's trauma. Like, he is clearly traumatized, like, at the beginning, and then throughout the book has these, like, flashback moments, and which I think is so honest of someone who is essentially beaten to death. I mean, he would not just bounce back and be totally fine with that. And, like, that's one of the reasons he sort of resists fully becoming human again.
Yeah.
Because he doesn't want to feel it. Yeah. Yeah. Like, why would you want to exist again in the body that, had been beaten to death?
Well, and Regal's still out there.
Oh, yeah. It's like at that point, Regal is just totally won. Like,
right.
How much do we hate Regal?
We hate him so much.
we do hate him so much. Like,
okay, so this is my hottest take on the book.
Okay.
It's really the only negative thing I have to say about the whole series.
Is that Regal's too one-dimensional?
No. It's that in book 3 of that first trilogy, we spend so much time trying to track down Verity and plotting to kill Regal. Like, so much time thinking about this and planning this and dreaming about it and devising how it's going to happen. And then, like, 10 minutes before the book ends, we find Verity, and then everything happens so fast, and we get, like, one sentence about what happens to Regal. And as, like, an epilogue, like, as an afterthought. And I just felt like, well, even like I felt like when we found Verity, it was almost like anticlimactic. Like, we found him, and then it just felt like it was dragging on. We're like carving the dragon. We're really carving this dragon. We're still, boy, are we carving this dragon. And then we, like, you know, then you're down the roller coaster, and everything else happens so fast, and some things that I would have appreciated more. I really wanted to see Regal's downfall. I don't know, but we didn't find out about it until after.
Yeah.
So that is kind of how I felt about Fitz's journey to get to Verity. Well, at first he's going to kill Regal. Like, that's his first thing. He's all about vengeance. He's like, I'm going to Tradeford, and I'm going to kill Regal. That's it. That's what I'm doing. I'm gonna get vengeance for my king, and I'm gonna kill him. And he journeys there, and then that goes badly, and he really is the worst assassin. Like, he's a terrible assassin.
He's the worst assassin.
Yeah, he's the
so
worst
bad.
assassin to claim the title assassin. That goes badly. And then Verity, like, speaks
to him,
find me, like, gives him a command and basic forces, and then he journeys some more, and then he's on a journey, and he meets people, and he gets captured at least twice that I'm remembering, at least twice, and he's still journeying, and I swear to God, if Nick and those smugglers don't come back at some point, I was like, that was totally unnecessary. That was my complaint. Maybe some people love it. I mean,
I just thought the pacing was a
journeys
little bit off
take
in this
a long
novel.
time. Yeah, journeys take a long time. I do understand that, but I felt a lot of these, like, we could have had him captured one time on the journey. Like, we didn't need multiple instances of betrayal and capture.
Especially because we know he's gonna get out of it. So it like loses a little bit of the kind of like dramatic tension, because you're like, we know he's gonna
weasel his way out of this at some point.
I agree, like, that happened just a little bit too much.
I do love when he gets to the Fool, though, like when he's,
oh my God, the Fool reunion with the Fool, perfect. No notes.
Yeah, that part of the journey was well, and I like when I guess from that point on, when it's like when we got the gang all back together, you know, where we've got the Fool, we've got Fitz, we've got Night Eyes, we've got Kettricken.
Kettle?
friggin' Kettle. She's
Freaking
there.
Kettle.
She's there saying nothing helpful. And being
Almost
too
as
reticent.
bad as Regal, in my opinion. I was like, so is Kettle, that's one of my questions. Is Kettle the worst or the absolute worst? And I was like, it's one of my questions. Just be honest, lady. Like, what is the point? Like, who are you keeping secrets from? You're like basically at the end of the earth that there's only 5 of you. Like, why are you still reticent? Who are they going to tell? If you're honest, who are they going to tell? There's nobody with them in the forest.
And I think in the book it's like it's just all tied into her shame, and that she had been somehow kind of, well, that was part of what they skill burned into her. I think that was part of it. It wasn't just that she, whatever. It was that she had been like skill burned into like never speaking of it and feeling such utter shame about it that she could never even go that.
She would get mad at Fitz for doing something that she had not told him not to do.
She's like, "Oh, you dumb doing that." And he's like,
Nobody ever explained any of this to me, and it's clear she knows. And he's asking her, he's like, "Tell me, like, explain." And she's like, "No."
Okay, this series so much like. It's not the only series to do this, but so much of this series plays on that theme of like lost information, lost knowledge of past generations, where when the knowledge like wasn't of like the history and all the things, when it wasn't really saved and passed on well to the next generation, like so much stuff is lost, because like all that stuff that Kettle knows that literally no one left like had a clue, and that only gets more and more so as you go through, and in other ways too in the series, where it's just like, man, the stuff they used to know and the amount of stuff that's lost, and then the mistakes that we're making in the here and now because we're not remembering and putting to practice the lessons we learned a few generations ago is crazy. I know.
Are we talking about real life now, or?
Well, I think Robin Hobb was referencing real life with that. Yeah. Yeah, that's such a big like thing where it's just like, oh, it's just heartbreaking. It's brutal.
And it's so clear that knowledge is power. Like literally in this book, like knowledge of the skill will make you more powerful. So burn away that knowledge, like make it bad, make it wrong, get rid of it, like start eliminating the people who know it.
Yeah. Oh, and you could say this is true for the skill or the wit. You know, like limit it, do it. You know, that was like the biggest mistake of Shrewd's reign, is that how much he limited it, and then obviously putting it into the hands that he had no idea he was, you know, that Galen and Regal were gonna sell off the whole skill scroll library and do all of that stuff. But
Shrewd was not as shrewd as his name would imply.
Well, and that's, you know, you can give them babies those names, honey, but they don't always live up to
I mean, you
they
can
don't
say he
always
was
live
like
up to the
blinded by
expectation.
love. He loved his son. My son can't be that bad. It's like, no, he is that bad.
No,
He's
I mean,
pretty
chivalry,
bad.
Mr. Chivalry, knocked up some poor mountain woman and left her alone. You know, that's not very chivalrous.
No.
So yeah, and I'm like, where it was Verity, I don't know, Verity's pretty truthful. Like, he's out there on his own for so long doing the dang thing. I don't know that he was necessarily untruthful, but I do think those are always interesting like plot points, is when the character who has the name Patience is not patient, or when Shrewd is not shrewd. Like, those are big defining, I feel like those play into being big defining moments in the series.
And I think the question, like with Verity, like who was Verity true to? Because I would argue not Ketrican, like not Fitz. Honestly, not Fitz at all in the end. Verity, like,
I think it's the Six Duchies.
Yeah, and that he was true to
He was so true to the people, because he just saw, like, it's all going to be over. Like, if I cannot do this, like, if I cannot do one big dramatic thing that turns the tide of this war, like, the Six Duchies is not going to exist anymore because of the Red Ship Raiders. So he was literally willing to put everyone else, either leave them alone or put them in the frying pan to achieve that goal. I think it was all loyalty to his people, his kingdom. Yeah.
And then you have to wonder, like, can you be a good leader of the masses and also good to your family? Is that possible?
I mean, I absolutely think the two are probably at odds more often than they are not.
Just randomly, I've often thought it was weird. We always wanted our presidents to have children, and I'm like, is that good actually? For like,
I hope those little babies are grown up and out the house, you know.
And
but then I don't want a super old president either.
But yeah, exactly. And it's like,
also, I don't know if I want a president who's never parented either.
Exactly.
So
but then you think about like, but God, it's got to be impossible to be a present parent and also president. Like, I don't see how that's possible. I just have a normal 8 to 5 job, and it's hard for me to get home to all the things.
Sasha and Malia, you okay? Check in.
Check in. So it's just like that, because Verity clearly made his choice, and it was not his family. It was not his wife and his nephew.
Right.
And I actually think he like really like did Fitz like that. Like if I
did
Fitz,
him dirty.
Yeah. At the end.
Yeah.
I mean, I texted
literally
Katie.
Pretty dirty.
Yeah.
I texted Katie at the end. I was like, so Verity takes over Fitz's body, makes a baby with Ketrican, and turns into a dragon.
Yep.
You're like,
yep.
Yeah, that's it. Yes, that's exactly what happens.
Well, okay, so you say, like, where does his loyalty lie? His loyalty lies to the Six Duchies, and part of that is to have a stable succession of Farseers on the throne. So, yeah, I think he's going to do literally whatever he can to make that happen. Burn his life away and make himself into a dragon. Like, he wanted to be with Ketrican. Like, he would have loved just living out a life with her because he admired her, he respected her. But, like, he needed to, and he only left once, didn't he? Wasn't she pregnant the first time when he left? So he felt, okay, like, I'm leaving, I'm leaving behind a wife and a son who, if I can go accomplish this thing, I can leave them a kingdom to live in peace, hopefully, you know? So it's like, I don't know, he was making some hard choices and doing the hardest possible thing, like against all odds and against everyone else thinking he was a fool and like thinking he was like, absolutely bonkers for, like going and believing in these elderlings. And it's, because so much knowledge had been lost that it just seemed all completely cuckoo. And he was the only one that was like, well, it's a Hail Mary, but it's like the best hope I have. I'm going to burn myself away in this tower, winning teeny little battles, or I can go and try to do something to like win the war. Yeah.
So,
but the body taking over thing is,
that part is like
tough.
Ooh,
for like cool. From a standpoint of, I guess if people are listening to this with kids, this would be a time to skip or turn away. But like in terms of like body autonomy and like sexual assault and whatever, like that is a very messy situation.
I mean, it goes back to the question you see a lot in storytelling, like, can you sacrifice one person to save many? Like, are you willing to do that? Because I do think Verity in a way sexually assaulted Fitz. I do think that. And does the fact that Verity then saves his kingdom?
Also Ketric, like,
Ketrican,
like jointly, these two like older people, like, because Fitz is still very young. Like Fitz is what, early 20s in this? I mean, he's younger than both of them. Yeah, he's an adult, but
Ketrican's about his age, right?
Yeah, I think him and Ketrican are on a level.
Yeah,
although Ketrican was about ready to give his baby away, like steal his baby. Like Ketrican was ready to steal. That's why Ketrican and Verity really probably would have made it if they'd stayed together. They're very similar, and they're
both like the crown and the kingdom and stuff, like
kingdom
above all.
First. Kingdom first.
Sacrifice, like. I mean, if you have a woman that's raised like Ketrican, you could not have found her a better man than Verity, because like he didn't have the term sacrifice, but that's absolutely how he lived his life.
At least she didn't have to marry Regal.
So true.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, but that whole thing, that's like one of the craziest things that happens in the whole series. But from the perspective of like sort of, the sort of fate and destiny of the book, of things that have to happen against all possible odds, it's like Verity has to have an heir to the Farseer throne. So like we have to do that for the stability of like the world and like the dominoes falling the way that they need to. Like the Fool has to make sure that there's a Farseer heir, and So he did everything he could to keep Fitz alive, and then, well, what do you know? It took his body and Verity's spirit, however that works, to make Dutiful.
I mean, I was really mad at Ketrican when she like marched in and when Fitz first reunites with them and the Fool is keeping him alive and Fitz is like delirious half the time and Ketrican shows up and is like, oh, you have a child? We need her. And Chade, right on board. Like, okay, is Chade a true friend or is he a villain to Fitz? Like, from Fitz's perspective.
I just think when
hard to
everybody's
separate.
in service of a crown, nobody can be anybody's like true friend if it goes against that goal. You know, if everybody has sworn loyalty to king and crown, then you can't. You know, then if those two things, if your personal relationship comes into conflict against the crown, you have to choose the crown. Like that's just that's the setup of his entire family.
Yeah,
It's
I
tough.
just can't imagine because Chade like
Him and
says
he did
like,
it to
I
Molly.
love you. Yeah.
Yep.
And
Like Fitz did to Molly, and that's
it's
why.
and Molly was smart enough to be like, I'm
Peace.
leaving because there is someone that I'm gonna love the way you love the crown.
Right.
And Fitz is too stupid to realize it's a baby. Like,
Right,
it's-
yeah. And Molly was right to want to take that kid away because she was like, okay, well, they're just going to take, they're going to see my child as either a threat or a pawn, just like they did with Fitz, and history will repeat itself if I don't get out of here. So, I mean, honestly, she shouldn't have even given that much of a hint to dumb Fitz.
Yeah.
But of course, the skill dreams and whatever once Nettle is born, which I will say that is an unfortunate name.
Nettle.
Out of all the names in there, Nettle. Like
Nettie.
singing
Oh,
nettles.
little Nettie.
Well, I just think of the plant that it represents, and I'm
Right.
like, that's not a cute
Yeah.
plant. It's kind of fierce.
I was gonna
But
say it's
not
a
cute.
fearsome plant.
Useful.
Yeah, useful. So maybe that's why. I mean,
So do we think Burrich helped Molly initially because he already liked her, or out of loyalty to Fitz's child,
Loyalty.
Chivalry's
Patience.
grandchild?
Patience had seen it on the horizon and tried to put the two of them together because she had seen that there would be things about each other that they could like.
Yeah.
When she would start sending him to do,
Yeah.
like she thought they could be good for each other. So I think
was that-
he went initially totally out of loyalty, but there was like already little breadcrumbs or like little bricks to build on,
And
I don't think he ever would have let himself even have the thought of whether he had
No.
affection for her until he was like sure that
Yeah.
Yeah. And then she pretty much had to force that situation. He would have never, he wasn't going to, on the define the relationship, whatever. It was all, that was all Molly.
But she was told it because he had like been her husband and a father to the baby in like every other way.
Every other way. Yeah.
It's like he has shown his love and dedication to her 1,000 times over. He just hasn't said it.
Oh yeah. And
Actions.
I hated how Fitz was just like so like mad at both of them, or so like felt like cheated by both of them, and I'm like,
Yeah.
bro, you abandoned these people.
yeah.
And like don't you want somebody taking care of your daughter? Like wouldn't you rather it be the guy who versus some, I'm like Fitz, bro. This is all bad choices. We're making the best of a lot of bad deals here. So
I think that's just again Fitz's youth. He's
Yeah.
so
Yeah.
young. He's so young.
It's like 20.
and he's so emo. Bless him.
Yeah.
He's so emo.
I do feel bad for I think he is right to be as angry as he is. I totally understand. Like,
I mean, life has handed him like just
he's been used by every adult in his life except Burrich. But Burrich tells him part of who Fitz is bad and evil. So like he hasn't had a single adult in his life who loved him, except for maybe Patience, who loved him just as he was because he existed.
right. Like once she came around,
Yeah, but he was like what, 15 already when that happened?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, ooh, um, pretty far.
At least 50, yeah.
Well, and then she was always berating him about loving Molly and doing, and she was telling him the wise thing to do, you know. But obviously, his little teenage boy mind wasn't on board with that.
I mean, Patience didn't have the parenting experience to know you can't keep telling them don't do the thing because that will make them do the thing.
Right.
Like,
you didn't know that
can't,
it was
like Patience. That's not how you deal with
It's like-
teenagers.
yeah, I do. Okay, moments that I loved in the midst of the weirdness of that final book. Or, Bryn, if you have a question you want to go to, I was just going to say the moment of, like the relationship between Kettricken and Night Eyes, of her grieving and like finding so much comfort in going and hunting with the wolf was so like, oh man, I love those moments and those scenes. Like those are ones that really stick with me for whatever reason. I mean, I'm obsessed with Night Eyes. Like I just love him. I love his wisdom. I love his wolf thinking and ways.
When
And
he left Fitz for a period in the book to go with the pack, because he went with the wolf pack in this book for a fair amount, and I was heartbroken along with Fitz. And Fitz was so nice. He's like, "Go, like you gotta go. You gotta try." I was very sad, even though I knew Night Eyes would be back. I knew he'd be back, but
I mean, that Fitz doing that for Night Eyes is kind of the thing that like nobody in his life did for him.
Yeah,
you know,
it's a definite maturing moment, like a evidence of Fitz's growth.
Yeah, or just like who he is as a person is a little bit different than the rest of his family.
I do love how much respect Night Eyes has for Kettricken. He's like he thinks Kettricken is like the coolest lady.
No, and again, if you have children listening, don't whatever. But my sister and I love the quote where Night Eyes. Well, does he say it about Kettricken or does he say about Molly after she fights off those people who came to attack them? But he calls her, he was like, a most excellent bitch.
That's Kettricken after she like shoots several birds. Yeah. I'm pretty sure it's Kettricken.
Yeah, so yeah, that's like one of my favorite. So that's how my sister and I will like complimenting women would be like a most excellent.
There are not many ways you could make calling someone a bitch like truly a term
like
of
the
respect,
highest compliment,
like the highest compliment, most excellent. Only if it's a wolf, and
only if it's from Night Eyes. Oh,
only if it's from Night Eyes.
Gosh, I love Night Eyes so much. And then, I mean, okay, so that last 100 pages is the craziest, but yeah, girl on a dragon,
that is wild. I do love that. I love that how creative and wild and unexpected that is, and that
I want more of that explained to me one day, because Katie can't say anything.
Don't say that, because there's like a forest of these. So were they were they all people with skill who carved a dragon? Is that where all of these dragons came from? I mean, that is not explained in this
not
book.
Yet.
And I love the idea of dragons not just being big lizard. Like there's like a boar like one. There's one that's kind of deer like with antlers, and so I just would love. This is the part I would like to see in a movie. I would like to see what all of these like animate look like. I want someone to draw all of these dragons, these stone dragons.
I love the way they describe them as like jewels glittering across the sky, like going to reap vengeance for the Six Duchies. It's so good. And like all the craziness of like Fitz trying to figure out how to wake the rest of that forest of stone dragons, where it's like he has to combine, it's like blood and wit and skill or some kind of whatever, where he has to do all of it to like rouse them, to get them to that whole thing where like Regal's people are coming through the skill pillars and like to kill them, and they're trying to like get this whole thing going. I mean, that part it's so fast paced and it's so stressful.
It's very stressful. And I love that Night Eyes is there like helping too, and that it took all of who Fitz is to wake the dragons. Like the wit and the skill and his bonding with Night Eyes, like to do it. I loved that. And that the dragons, like Night Eyes was waking them like as a pack, and so the dragons all sort of became a pack because Night Eyes was
right,
there
that they all have like
them,
pack
yes,
mentality
pack
of
mentality.
like, oh, let's stretch out and go.
Let's go eat. Follow this.
Yeah, let's go eat.
This
Like, let's
weird
go
looking
find some snacks together,
and we'll get you some food.
Yeah.
So is the fool a man or a woman? It doesn't matter at all. Katie, if you know, no, you can't tell us, but I was thrown by the question. Well, when Starling is like, the fool's a woman, and then I was like, whoa. Yeah, he could be, because I definitely like Fitz been like he the whole time in my head. But as soon as that question got like that statement was made, I was immediately thinking back. I was like, well, actually, there's no.
We haven't seen any genitalia.
I mean, or just any like they could be a very androgynous looking person, like a K-pop idol. Like who knows? Like just
I do think his
person.
features have always been described as like very like slender and angular and different than. I mean, he doesn't look human because he isn't quite so.
Have you started?
I can't speak to any of that though.
Bryn, have you started the next trilogy at all?
I have. I'm like just through the prologue. This sea captain has who's a real jerk. Like stolen things, broken, like clearly met a magical creature that he should have obviously had more respect for. Did not. But he really loves himself. Like, he just really loves himself. And he thinks he deserves all the praise and that he is awesome and everyone is below him. And I definitely had some thoughts about current people in real life who was like, this reads like people I see in the news, honestly. Like, and he has just made it back to his ship before his ship crashes. And that's literally where I am. So it's just the first few pages. He's gotten back on his ship, and I'm pretty sure he's not going to last long. I could be wrong, but he's definitely made enemies of magical beings. But he seems convinced he has only good things in his future.
I just finished that trilogy this week, so
I'm way behind then. I got like 2,000 pages to read.
Yeah, I got some great text, Bryn, so I look forward to the equivalent, text from you.
What I love in the very beginning of the next book, we've kind of like, I guess, skipped ahead, all the little details of the things he finds on this beach. And I thought Robin Hobb, this beautiful, tiny tea set. And she's like describing it, watching it, but it's like tiny tea set, tiny, like clearly made for otherworldly beings, or the gold locket, and just her creativity and what he finds along the beach, and she describes it so beautifully and with whimsy, and I just those little details, because I mean, as a writer, I'm like, literally you could think of anything to land on the beach, and I just love what she picked, what objects she picked for him to find along the beach,
and the way she describes them,
and
like
the way she describes them,
the ability to visualize it and stuff for me as a reader is just so effortless because of how she describes stuff so well. Okay, was there anything else in Assassin's Quest that you wanted to cover, Bryn? I mean, the number one thing that everybody feels like they have to cover is the whole
ending,
the making of the next Farseer.
Yes, the making of the next Farseer. No, I think I think we covered it all. I think we covered it all. Yeah.
Well, I think the best news at the end of that book is that it is not the end of Fitz and the Fool's tales and adventures together, and not the end of their like impact in this whole world that Hobb has created.
I mean, I know there's more like the Fitz and the Fool, or the Fool and the Fitz, but it ends like the Fitz is just in his cabin with Night Eyes, but he's not dead. He's still there. So I assume he's going to get pulled out of retirement.
That's a good way to put it.
Pulled out of retirement. He's going to be called on again. He thinks he's done his job. He woke all the dragons. The dragons flew in.
Right.
He's good. He's done.
You can't blame him for thinking that he, kind of
The
done the
catalyst
thing.
Is enough.
Yeah, catalyst catalyzed. So he's done. He's like in his cabin.
He's died.
alone.
He's come back to life.
Yeah.
I mean, what more could he do?
Yeah. So,
Okay.
well, that's it. Well, if anybody was still listening, I hope you enjoyed our take. Like, we are now the Robin Hobb fan club, the Not Quite Losing It impromptu book club. We'll have to do this again when I finish the next trilogy.
Yeah. Is the
Yeah,
next thing
absolutely.
we're recording? Is the next thing we're recording Artist's Way? Is that the
Yeah.
next
Yes.
thing? Okay.
That's the plan.
That's the
Okay.
plan.
Season 2.
All right. Well, thanks for being with us for our summer minisodes in quotation marks.
This is an hour.
We hear you, Hannah. My sister might be the only one still listening who listens to this podcast and has also read this entire series
If
multiple times.
well, if you have listened to all 3 of these episodes, will you just send one of us a note? We have a Gmail account now.
We
not
do.
Quite,
Which is
not quite losing
losing
it at gmail.com. Just
That's
send us a note, and we'll
Yeah.
we'll give you a shout out on the on the next podcast.
God.
You get like so many gold stars
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm very curious
curious,
how large
too.
this segment of our audience.
I enjoy our book club
Minuscule.
discussions. Like, if
This
we
is for
made
us.
you
Yeah.
read the books, also,
Right.
like, if you picked up one of Robin Hobb's books because of...
Yeah, I
Our
definitely
discussion.
want to know that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well,
Okay.
And Robin Hobb, if you are listening,
if you are listening,
if you're listening, we would love to have
we
you on
love
the
you.
podcast.
We love you.
Our email is not quite losing it at gmail.com.
gmail.com. We repeat one more time for good measure. Oh, man. Well, we will sign off and we'll see everybody for season 2.
Yeah,
All 4 of you.
season 2.
Okay. Love
Yeah.
you. Bye.
Bye.
We're not quite losing it. 3 creative friends coming together to share some laughs, inspiration, and advice to help you feed your creative spark when the responsibilities of life and parenting are threatening to snuff it out. Check us out every Tuesday, wherever you listen to your favorite podcasts, and join the conversation on Substack as we remind each other that despite all appearances, we're not quite losing it.